Hello, everybody. Today we will start our first English lesson for the third year of the secondary school students in the framework of Educatec Association. So our course today, or our English lesson today, will be the present simple. We will see the present simple in a very simplified and easy way altogether. We are not going to use any slides. We are just going to use the board, and we will go all together step by step to understand very well the English, the present simple, and its use in English. Because as you know, the English tenses are very important in understanding English in general. So let's start the first course or the first lesson in our program for this year. So we shall start. We shall start by writing the title. The present simple, or we say the simple present. Both of them are possible. Both of them are possible. So the present simple. Of course, we will take the first step, which is very important, which is the form of the present simple. We will see how to form the present simple. So as a first step, we are going to write, as you know, the subject pronouns, which are like the following: I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and of course, they. I hope my handwriting is clear. So these are the subject pronouns that we have in English, as you all know. We have I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. So here we will take a verb. We will take a verb. Okay. Let's take, for example, uh, the verb to walk. Let's take, for example, the verb to walk. So let's take the verb to walk and we try to put it in all the subject pronouns and we will see the differences that might happen with them. So the first one, we say I walk, and we say you walk, and when it comes to he, we say he walks, and then she walks, and it, of course, it walks, and when we come to we say we walk. You walk and they walk. So as you can see here, we have the verb to walk. Here it is infinitive. Here it is infinitive. And here it is in the present simple. So as you can see here, we have two forms. We have the first category and the second category. As you can see here, we have the forms I, you, and we have we, you, and they. Of course, this you here is singular and this you is plural. And we have another category which is he and she and it. Of course, if you want to make a rule here, we shall write he and she and it. So they are subject pronouns plus what? Plus the verb to walk, not which is not infinitive anymore. It is in the present simple tense, but we have verb plus, as you can see here, plus s. So we say subject pronoun plus verb plus s. This is the first category. And then we move to the next one, and we try to be as simple as we can. Here we have I, you, and we have we, you, and they. So here we have subject plus verb plus Nothing. So just subject plus verb. Okay? I shall. I shall clean this, right? So I go back and write subject plus verb. And here we have subject plus verb plus s. So as you can see here, we have the verb to walk in the infinitive with to, but here we use the verb without to. So this is what we call in English bare infinitive. So for the subjects pronounced in the present simple I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they are divided into two categories. The first one don't take the s, and the second one they take the s. Okay, but the problem is, do we have only s here? Do we have only s here, or we have some exceptions? So as you can see, the majority of the verbs they take the s. Okay, they take the s and only s, but there are some verbs which take something else. I give you another example here. We move to another slide. Let's take, for example, the verb to study. To study. So here we start with the first category. We have no problem. We say, for example, I study. I study. No problem here because we have just the bare infinitive. So when I say I, of course, I is like we, is like you, is like they. This is one category. This is one group. And we move to the next group, for example, he or she. Of course, we write here, she study. Normally we add s here, but we don't do it, okay? We do something else. We don't do like this. We do something else. So normally when we have consonant, consonant plus y, as you can see here we have y, consonant plus y, what do? We omit the y and we replace it with ies. Which means here in he and she and it, of course, as I say, we have here I, you, we, and they, and here we have he and it and she. They are one group. So what do we say? Studies. Okay? She studies with IES. With IES. So this is what? This is the second, this is the first exception. So normally what do we have? We have subject plus verb plus s with he and she and it. Or sometimes we have subject plus verb plus IAS when we have consonant plus y. But we have another exception. We will see how to do it here. Let's take, for example, another verb, which is, for example, to wash. I wash my face. To wash. So with the first category, I, we, you, and they, we have no problem because we have subject plus verb. And with the second one, for example, let's take she here. We add, what do we add? Normally, if we add s here, we will have s plus h plus s, which is not really good. So what do? We omit the s and we add es. So the rule is to add es here. So what do we say? She washes. She washes. Okay, she washes. So why do we have she washes here? Because we have sh in the end of the verb. But we don't have this just for sh, but we have it for more than this. We can have es for sh or for ch, like for example, watch. I watch television. We say I watch television. You watch television, no problem because we have subject plus verb. But when it comes to he and she and it, we say she watches television. So, and we have o, like for example, go. I go, you go, but we say he goes. He goes to school every day. And when we have x, and when we have double S, like kiss, I kiss, you kiss, he kisses. And then I think that's it. And we have it with that. Of course, when we have all these endings, what do we add? We have subject plus verb plus es. Okay, so what is the form now? Subject plus verb plus s with the majority of verbs, and subject plus verb plus ies when we have consonants plus y, and we have es, okay, when we have these endings sh, ch, l, x, double s, and z. So that's it. If you want, for example, now to sum up, what do we have here? We have the first rule is what? The first rule and the second rule, okay? So for I, you, we, and they, in all these we have subject plus verb, just subject plus verb. And when we have he or she plus he plus it, what do we have? Subject plus verb plus, the first one is s, the second one is ies, the third one is es. So for s, with what? With the most common verbs, the majority of verbs. And when we have ies, it's where when we have consonant plus y. And when we have es, it's when we have these endings, ch, sh, uh, double s, z, and I think oh yeah. So this is what? This is the form. This is the form of the present simple. I go back to remind you first, and then we go on. So this course is the present, or this lesson is the present simple. We take the verb to walk, which is in the infinitive, and we see how it goes. We write all the subject pronouns here, and we try to put the verb to walk in the present simple tense. So here we have I walk, you walk, he walks, she walks, it walks, we walk, you walk, and they walk. So we have here in red, in green, we have subject plus verb. As you can see, we have no changes here. We take just the two of the infinitive and we write the bare infinitive here. And when it comes to he and she and it, we have subject plus verb plus s. But the problem is we don't have only s in this tense. We have the first exception with he and she and it. We have, for example, the verb study. We say she studies. What do? We replace y by ies because we have consonant plus y. And the second exception, we have the verb to wash. We say she washes. What do? We can't write s here because we have s and we have another h here, and it is difficult to pronounce. That's why we write es. And what is it? So wash, washes. What do we say? Washes. What do we add? Es. Where? When we have endings of verbs like that. sh, ch, o, x, double s, z. Okay, of course, when we have all these endings, what do we add? We have subject plus verb plus es. So next, here to sum up, the form of the present simple. When we have I, you, we, and they, we don't have any change for the verb. We add just subject plus verb. And when we have he and she and it, we have subject plus verb, and we have three changes: s or ies or es. So the first one, s, with common verbs in the majority of verbs. We say, for example, she listens, she walks, etc., etc. And when we have ies, it's when we have consonant plus y, like cry. For example, I cry. We say, I cry, you cry, he cries, she cries, it cries. And now the next one is es. So we have es with ch, sh, double s, z, and o. Now, if this is clear, we go and we move to see the three forms of the present simple. Of course, we have the positive form, and we have the negative form, and we have the question form. So we go and try to give a sentence. Of course, here, as long as we have two categories, as I said in the present simple, we are going to have two sentences. Okay, sorry, we have two sentences: positive, negative question, and here we have positive, negative question. So this is going to be about the first category, which is I, you, they, and of course we. And this is going to be about he, she, and it, of course. So let's start by the first example. Let's start by the first example. I take the first example, I write uh, they, the students, or yes, the students go to school. The students go to school, of course, full stop. The students go to school. This is, of course, a positive sentence. If you want to make it negative, we say the students. We say the students. Of course, when I say the students, it's like they, the students, and we have don't, don't, and we finish the sentence. Don't go to school. The students don't go to school. Of course, the students go to school, and here we have the students don't go to school. What do we add here? We add, what do we add here? We add don't. What is don't? It is do, of course, plus it is do plus not. Do plus not. Full form and short form, we say do not. So the students don't go to school. And if you want to make it negative, we have inversion of the subject and the verb. So what do we say here? What is it going to be like? We say do, of course, do the student, do the students go to school. Do the students go to school? Of course, here we shouldn't forget the question mark. Do the students go to school? Do the students go to school? Of course, here what do we have? As you can see, we have do plus what? Plus the subject plus verb in the infinitive, of course. So here the first category, if you want to see about the three forms, positive, negative, and question form, we say the student go to school. As you can see here, go with no S, with nothing, because it's present simple, the first category, to school. And here we say the students don't go to school, of course, short form. If you want to make it full form, we say do not. So this is short form, and this is full form. And for question form, we say do the students go to school? Of course, here we have do plus subject plus go plus to school. Plus go is the verb. So please, now we go and see the next category. We take, for example, another example here. We say, for example, uh, for example, he plays, for example, basketball. He plays basketball. He plays basket. He plays basketball. He plays basketball. This is a positive sentence. Of course, when I say he, it's like he, she, and it. The next example is going to be a negative. We say he plays basketball. Negative. What do we say? He doesn't. He does, because here we have es, as you can see. He doesn't. He doesn't play. He doesn't, of course, play. He doesn't play basketball. He doesn't play basketball. As you can see, here we have do, and here we have does. Here we have do, and here we have does. And does, it's like do or does plus not, plus not. So what is the difference between the first category and the second category? Is here we have do and here we have does. Why? Because here we have just the verb, and here we have verb plus es, because we have do, and do is does. So if you want to make it negative, we go and we have inversion like the first category. So what do we say? We say does, and we have does, he, the subject, and play. Of course, here, as you can see, here we have plays. It takes the S, but here it doesn't take the S. It doesn't take the S because we have it here with the auxiliary, which is does. So what do we say? Does he play basketball? Does he play basketball? Okay, and we should never forget the question form, because this is question. And the same thing, if you want to add a question word like what or where or whatsoever, we say where do the students go, for example, or why do the students go, etc. And the same thing for the second category. So this is the next step, which is how to form the positive, the negative, and the question form in English. We say the student goes to school, and if you want to make it negative, we say the student don't go to school. And if you want to make it question, we say do the students go to school. And the same thing for he and she forms. We say he plays basketball, he doesn't play basketball, and the question form, does he play basketball? Does he play basketball? Now, if you don't mind, we go and see some other exceptions. So here I want to go and to do some verbs which are not really like all the others, like go, like do, like have, of course, and we have the verb to be. So for do, what do we say? For go, we say I go, you go, but we say he goes. What do we add? Okay, es. And for do, we say does with the es too, but here we don't say has, but we say has. We say has. So I go, you go, but we say he goes, she goes, it goes. The same thing for do, and the same thing for have. We say I have, you have, he has, she has, it has. So these are three exceptions that we should pay attention to when talking about a present simple in English. And we go also to see the verb to be, which is very familiar to us, and every English learner should pay attention to this. We have three forms. We have and we have are, and we have is, of course. So we have am with I, we say I am, and with are we have, as I said, three. We have you are, and we have we are, and we have they are. And for is, we have three. We have he plus she plus it. So this is the verb to be. We have and are and is. Of course, with I, and are with you, we and they, and is for he and she and it. Of course, we have full form and we have short form. Of course, when it comes to it becomes like that with an apostrophe. We say or we say I am. Of course, with are, we have this one. We say your, okay, like your, you are or your, we are or where, and for s, for the this is, it becomes like this, his. So this is more or less about to be. So here we have some exceptions: go, goes, do, does, have, has. Okay, and when it comes to the verb to be, we have three forms in the present: and are and is. With the subject pronoun I, and are with you and we and they, and is with he and she and it. Of course, this is for when we talk about full form and short form. We have am, I am, you are, your, he is, his. This is what we call short form. This is what we call short form. Of course, we go to the next step. For the present simple in English, we have some uses. We have the present simple. We use it to talk about some of the uses, and we are going to see them now. Of course, for example, when I say I I watch TV every day, every day. I watch TV every day. This is a sentence. I watch TV every day. What does it mean? Here we have frequency. Here we have repetition. Here we have a habit. So here we have a habit. So we use the present simple to talk about what? To talk about habit. To talk about habits and to talk about normal things and common things that we do in our everyday life. So I watch TV every day. I always go to the supermarket. We listen to music all together on Saturday. So all these sentences are about common things, about repeated things in our daily routine. The next use, for example, okay, let me take another this pencil. I give you another example. We say, for example, the sun, for example, rise. The sun rises from the east, from the east. This is a sentence, okay? The sun rises from the east. Here, it's about what? When we say sun and we say rises and we say the east, this is here, yes, something which is repeated, yes, of course, but it's about science. So we use the present simple when we have natural and scientific facts. So when we have facts, we use the present simple. When we have facts, we use the present simple, like say, for example, the water boils at 100 degrees. So this is again a scientific fact. That's why we use the present simple. And of course, it has the same rule, which is repetition and frequency a long time. It is correct in the past, in the present, and in the future. So I watch TV every day. This is habit and frequency. This is habit and frequency. When we say frequency, it's something which is repeated. Frequency, okay? This is habit and frequency. The next one is the sun rises from the east. Here we have what? Scientific fact. So we use the present simple for two reasons so far here when we have habits and frequent actions that we do in our everyday life, and when we have scientific facts. That's why in the literature of science, they use always the present simple when we talk about natural phenomena, etc. And then when we have something which is always true, another use, we say, for example, my name, my name is, my name is John, for example, or is Jane here. Of course, we always use the present when we talk about introduction and names because they are something which is always true. We say, my name is Jane. It is always true. It's in the past, in the present, in the future, because I will never change my name. It's my name. So we use the present simple when we have, again, something, something which is always true, something which is always something which is always true. For example, we say, I am 18 years old. I am 18 years old. Ula, I was born in Morocco. It's in Morocco. I will never be born somewhere else. So here we have what, if you want to say, this is the use, as you want to give a title, this is the use of the present. Again, this is the use of the present, present simple. We have so far three uses here. We have the first one, which is habit and frequency, and we have scientific fact, and we have something which is always true. This is why we use the present simple. So in this lesson today, we have seen so far how to form the present simple, and we said that we have what? We have s, and we have bare infinitive. S with he and she and it, and the bare infinitive when we have I, you, and they. And you can see here we have the ticks in green. That's the first category, which is subject plus verb, and the second one in red, that's subject plus verb plus s. And I have a question mark here, which means we don't have only s, we have something else. As we can see, let's take for example the verb to study here. It cannot function. It cannot functions with s. So what do we add? We add ies because we have consonant plus y. And the second one is es, like the verb to wash. What do? We add es. We don't add only s here. We add es. And this is not only for sh endings, but for many others like ch, like o, like x, like double s, or z. And for the form, here we have like a sum up. I, you, and they always, always, always with what? Subject plus verb. And for he and she and it, we have subject plus verb plus s or es or ies. No, here we have common verbs with s, consonants plus y with ies, and these, like I said before, with es. And then we came to see the three forms of the present simple, and we said that we have subject, we have positive, negative, and question, positive, negative, and question. And here I gave the two possible categories that we have in the present simple, which are I, you, we, and they. And we have here he and she and it. Of course, here we have do and do not for the negative form, and here the auxiliary do if you want to make questions, and we should never forget a question mark. And here we have does because we have es, because we have he and she and it, so that's why we say he doesn't play basketball. And if you want to make it positive question, we say does he play basketball. And the next item or the next element that we are shall see here some exceptions. For example, go, we say goes, okay? I go, you go, he goes, and do, does, have, has, and of course the verb to be, which is very famous. We have three forms. We have either or are or is. With the I, of course, subject pronoun I, and are with you, we, and they. Of course, you is plural and singular forms. And here we have is with he and she and it. Of course, this is short form. I am or am. You are or you're. He is or he's. Next, here we have the use of the present simple, the use of the present simple, and we have seen three uses here. For example, we say I watch television every day. This is a sentence which reflects habit and frequency and things that we do every day. Every day, that's a routine. And the second one is the sun rises from the east. This is again a scientific fact which is regular and which happens regularly. And here we have my name is Jane. So this is something which is always true. Something which is always true. So we come here to see some signal words. We come to see some signal words, signal words of the present simple. In sentences normally or in text, we find signal words which tell us that we should use the present simple. I give you an example. When we talk about signal words, we talk about these signal words are called in the present simple. In the present simple, they are called adverbs, adverbs, adverbs of frequency. As I told you before, frequency, adverbs of frequency. I shall write it. again to make it clear. So adverbs of, yeah, adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency. And we mean by frequency here repetition. So whenever we have repeated actions, we use the present simple in English, and this is very important. So signal words here are called or are the adverbs of frequency that are used with the simple present. And I shall give you some examples, like always. Whenever you see always, it's present simple. Like for example, I always go to school at 7 o'clock. This is again frequency and repetition. That's why we use the present simple. And we have often, and we have sometimes, and we have never. I never go to school early. I never go to school late, for example. Always, often, sometimes, never, and we have usually, sorry, and we have rarely, etc. So whenever we see these expressions, whenever we see these adverbs, we should put the present simple. So these are what we call in English signal words. Signal words which are used with the present simple. So whenever we see always, often, sometimes, never, usually, rarely, occasionally, seldom, etc., we use the present simple. We use the present simple. So now let's go and do some practice. Let's see together some sentences. I shall write them on the board here and we do them all together. For example, the first sentence, okay, let me take the blue pencil. Yeah. So, for example, we say I, and we have here be, the verb to be, and we have 16 years old. 16 years old. Of course. Let's go to the next sentence. We say, for example, Tommy, and we have the verb live. Live, for example, in the USA. And let's take, for example, another example, Jane, and we have cook in the kitchen, cook a good or a pizza. A pizza. Another example, they eat, and we have meat. They eat meat, and then we have uh, she, and we have like here between brackets, and we have tea. We have tea, and then I go to see, for example, he buy a new car, a new car. Okay, so here again, we try to do this practice. Okay, we try to do this practice. Yeah, we try to do this practice all together to finish our lesson for today. Okay, we say I, 16 years old. Again, this is we're talking about something which is true and general and very common. So we use the present simple. So what is the present simple of to be? Is we have, as I said, we have am or are or is, And of course, here we have I, so we say I am. I am 16 years old. The next one, we have Tommy. So when I say Tommy here, it's like he. It's like he. Tommy is like he. So we say he or Tommy, and we have live in the USA. In the USA. So what is the answer? The answer is live plus s, because this is an common verb. This is a normal verb which ends in e. And then we have Jane, which is a female. So it's like she, okay? And she, we say she, and we can have cook a pizza. Of course, she plus cook, it's cook plus s. She cooks a pizza. She cooks a pizza. And here we have they, of course, they plus meat. Oh, of course, here we have the first category. So we say they eat meat. And then we have like tea. She, of course, plus she, verb plus s, we say she likes tea. And then we have he buys a new car. So here I read again. We say I am 16 years old. Tommy or he lives in the USA. Jane or she cooks a pizza. And we have they eat meat and she likes tea and he buys a new car. He buys a new car. So I think that's it for today. I just want to sum up, okay? Sum up and go back to see all the things that we have seen so far today. Today's lesson was about the present simple, as I told you before. We have two categories. We have I, you, uh, we, and they. In green here, what is the form is subject plus verb, and we have he and she and it, of course, subject plus verb plus s, but we don't have only s, we have something else, as we shall see here. Let's take the verb to study here. What do we have? We have study without s here, because we have consonants plus y. We omit the y and we add ies. And the next exception is and the next exception is the verb to wash. We took the verb to wash and we said she washed plus s here. It doesn't go because we have sh. So we add es. So what do we say? Washes. And this is not just for es, for sh, but for all these endings, sh, ch, o, x, double x, and z. And here, as a matter of fact, we have subjects plus verb plus es. And for the form of the present simple, as I said, we have I, you, we, they with no problem, subject plus verb, and we have he and she and it, subject plus verb plus s or ies or es. With most verbs, we have just s. With consonants plus y, we have is, and we have es with consonant with the ch, sh, double s, z, and o. And here, as you can see, the positive negative form of he and she and it and I, you, and they, of course, do plus not. And here we have does plus not, doesn't, don't for the negative and positive and question forms. Here we have some exceptions, like go, we say goes, do, does, and have, we don't say haves, but we say has. And the verb to be, which is very common, we have are, is, and of course. And then we go to the next. Why do we use the present simple when we have habit, scientific fact, and something which is always true? And at the end, we have seen some signal words with which we use the present simple, always, often, sometimes, usually, etc. And here we have an exercise to see how it works with the present simple. And now I want to sum up. I want to sum up. Of course, whenever you hear, whenever you see s with a verb or es or ies, that's present simple. And whenever you see don't or doesn't, that's present simple. That's present simple. And whenever you see a verb without anything, that's present simple though. So this is how to recognize the present simple in the future when you see it in text, etc. When you see a verb without anything plus a subject, that's present simple. When you see a verb with ses or ies, that's present simple. And whenever you see negative form with the and doesn't, that's present simple. And thank you so much for today's lesson and for your attention. And see you next time. And have a good night.